Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the program. It's time for us to get into our first discussion of the morning. And we're going to talk about something unique.
Yes.
Because, by the way, happy International Left-Handers Day. As mentioned by Archie, it is today. Do you know any left-handers? Anyone that uses their left hand predominantly?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure along my study and my university, I have met some friends who are left-handers, but I never really thought about it that much because I kind of feel that they've always sort of adjusted pretty well.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you can always notice it, right? When somebody's like, there's something different about this person. And also, I believe they say that left-handers have a higher level of intelligence.
Wow, I didn't know
because they're using a different side of the brain. I don't know, I'm not sure, but these are some of the myths that you hear that go along with it as well. Now, today we're going to have a chat with clinical psychologist Widya Sari to find out more about this very unique trait. Hi, good morning, Widya.
Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you.
So let's first find out about left-handers. We know that children develop like writing habits or habits about when they throw a ball for the first time. When do we start realizing that our children or a child is left-handed or is probably better with their left hand?
Well, actually, handedness can be seen even before the baby was born.
Really? How?
Yes. So I saw some research that stated babies can use both of their hands inside the womb, and during the USG, they will find out which hand is dominant, is more dominant than the others. So most children shows their preference during the maybe like 15 to 18 months old, but they will be definitely left-handed or right-handed after 3 years old. So that's the pretty common and critical age for them and for us to see the preference of their handedness.
Gotcha.
So can you share a bit more about what actually causes someone to be left-handed or right-handed? Is it genetics? Is it sex? Is it brain development? Yeah.
Actually, there is no exact cause because if we say it genetics, yes, it runs in the family. Some research shows the result that the gene is right in the family, but there is no exact gene which gene is the main precursor for the left-handedness or right-handedness. And it also caused by the habit after, of course, after the child born. They can use both of their hands, and the enforcement of the parents also can cause the preference of the left-handed or right-handed.
Let's actually expand on that last point you just mentioned. We do live in Indonesia, where we are actually, by culture, we have a standard of always using a right hand out of politeness, basically, right? Out of hygiene, out of politeness. So when a child starts showing that they're left-handedness, a lot of parents will try to force them to their right hand. What does this do to the child?
Okay, everything that is forced can have hard consequences, of course. So for children who is maybe left-handed and they're forced to be right-handed, it's not only the frustration during the conversion, but also the long-term effects such as learning difficulties or emotional and behavioral disturbance that can cause and lead to more severe psychological and physical issues.
What are some of the special development or in the way that their brain works about the left-handed people? Because I'm sure while they face difficulties, there are also some benefit or some special abilities that they have.
Yeah, we often hear that the left-handers have the outstanding creativity, outstanding artist, being
they have an
so
artistic side, right?
Yes, they have.
Is that true?
Actually, they grow in the world that is designed for right-handed.
Yeah.
So they have to adjust. They have to find out how it boosts certain area in their brain, so they can be more creative. Some of us are told that the left-handed use their right brain more than the left side of brain, but unfortunately our brain don't work like don't work like that. it's a more complex process, but certain habits, certain environmental factors can make them be more creative and artistic.
You're so right about how this world is created for right-handed people. Immediately, I'm already thinking of examples. Have you ever tried opening a jar with your left hand? Because if you open a jar, you're turning this way, right?
Yeah.
Try turning it the other way. It's actually a lot harder. So that's what left-handers would have to do.
Yeah.
Or an ergonomic mouse.
Yeah,
You ever seen those?
that's right.
It's only created on the right side. You don't have one on the left
That's
side.
right.
as
And not
well.
only that, like the simpler one as well, because we usually write from left to right,
Correct.
like in a book,
Yes.
and then so the left-handed would have to
You'd be-
adjust.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And you might smudge all your writing as
Exactly.
well. So what to do in a situation where your child is obviously left-handed. You don't want to force them because you don't want to limit their creativity or their growth or development. So should we just be encouraging them to do so? And how does that work for them later in life when they have to live in a country where they do have to still adjust to a right-handed world, so to speak?
The first and the most important thing is acceptance
Okay,
and the support for their adjustment process.
I see.
So when they feel accepted, they feel supported, they have the courage to try to do more things with confidence. So when they're confident enough to face the world that is designed for the right-handed, they can be more creative. So what grows inside is creativeness, not the anxiety.
Okay.
So that's what we have to boost, even from the very beginning, when we realize, oh, our child is left-handed, so we can teach some common act with right hand, such as handshaking, but not too much and not more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so they're able to
Yes.
socialize.
So I guess
Yes.
it's pretty similar what we can do with our left hand for the right-handed people. The left-handed people can also do something with their right hand as well, right? So that we've discussed these advantages, what are some of the advantages that they naturally have so that, you know, it can probably compensate with these advantages?
Most of these advantages are caused by the unergonomics environment. Usually because we put everything according to the common habit, to the right hand habit. So what we have to do is to be more aware about that. There's a lot of people who are left-handed, so they need the safety precaution. They need to, we have to make some adjustment also for them. And if we find some people with maybe a different habit from us, we can ask them, what do you need? So we can ask what, yes,
Yeah.
so they can do things to overcome their difficulties.
How long do you think is the adjustment period until they're able to sort of maneuver in the world effortlessly?
In difference from
Okay.
between people in difference. So for the child who are accepted from the very beginning, it will be easier for them to adjust because they're confident.
Yeah.
They doesn't have that anxiety issues during their growing, so it's easier for them. But among people, it's different.
Okay.
I'd like to also ask about someone who's ambidextrous. Is it possible to be completely ambidextrous, or are they just forcing themselves to, or they're left-handed trying to be in a right-handed world? How does it work?
Yeah, most of the result of conversion process is ambidextrousness.
Ah, okay.
So actually we're not that exclusive left-handers or right-handers,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
So to balance both of the side of our body have its own advantages, of course,
Right.
such as for supporting us during our activities. So
Yeah.
it's a thing, and it's a good thing. On the other hand,
Because the reason I asked is because I'm very interested in sports.
Yes.
And it would be a huge advantage if you can use both hands equally well. In fact, I know some athletes that have to force themselves to train to use their left side just so they can be better at their craft. Is it possible to train yourself to be a left-hander? Because some people might want to do that for their own benefit.
very possible because our brain is able to change. Our body is also able to change.
Okay.
So it's a very, very highly possible thing.
Okay, because I tried it and it's terribly difficult. Like, it's so hard to hit a ball with my left hand. I'm completely, I feel like a toddler.
You know, I'm also a sport
enthusiast.
Yeah, enthusiast myself. Sometimes when I do yoga, I try to stand on my left feet, and
it's a lot harder.
So terrible.
You find the same thing?
Yeah, of course. And I think it's a lot harder when we started as an adult.
But after a couple of training, we can achieve it.
But I think that's what your point earlier is so important to accept from the beginning what you've been given, especially for your child as well, because it actually will speed up the adjustment period.
Now, we also heard, this is from our news team, that researchers from Uppsala University in Sweden said those who are left-handed may have a higher risk of developing disorders. Is there any truth to that?
Well, the answer can be yes and no.
All right. And what sort of disorders, right?
Yes, because everyone can have their own risk, of course. But no, because most of the cause of those risks are environmental. So it's very possible for us to modify. It's very possible for us to show more acceptance and adaptation, so they can eliminate those risk factors and of course the stigma as well.
So it's not a guaranteed thing. Good to hear. All right. So we're going to actually. Have you ever tried writing or doing anything with your left hand at all?
At all.
But yoga you have, right?
Yeah, Pilates, yoga, yes, of course.
Okay,
but not writing.
No. So we're gonna. Thank you for that. We're actually going to try. This is a little challenge. Russia, we're gonna have you have a board as well.
Yes.
And okay, we're gonna try to figure out after we write. What are we gonna write? Our names?
Our names.
We're gonna write C Morning Show.
All right.
We're gonna write C, so we write the same thing. And we're gonna have Widya tell us whose writing is more discernible.
Oh, okay.
Right?
This is a hard thing to do.
We're gonna give it a shot. So C Morning Show. We're gonna try
with the space. With the space or no?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. We'll just wing it.
All right.
We'll just figure it out. Okay. Oh, this is really hard. I have to think about it first.
It is harder than
it's horrible, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I have great appreciation for the left-hander now.
I can see them struggling.
I am completely struggling.
It's just not natural, you know. Wait.
Ooh, okay, you're almost done there.
Yes.
Actually, that's not bad at all.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready? We're going to show the camera.
Yes.
Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Have a look now, Widya. What do you think?
It's much better than I thought.
Really? Okay.
Oh, really? Maybe because
it proves that we can adapt actually. Yeah. So for the right-handed can balance the body also to be the ambidextrous.
Yes.
The same thing.
So it just goes to show that humans are capable of growth, capable of adjusting and changing. But I think, as you mentioned, it's so important to just accept, and then that would give us less anxiety and more confidence to really, you know, refine what we have. Right?
Yeah, and I think practice makes perfect, right? It took us a long time to write like that one particular sentence. I think, you know, over time, if we kept doing it, we'd be a lot better at it. One more myth, by the way, that our producer reminded us that I forgot to ask is they say as well, some people believe, and again, this may be a myth, that those who are left-handed may have a shorter lifespan. Is that true?
The fact is the left-handed people are more prone to accident.
Because
can you give us an example? Can you?
We reflect back to the things we mentioned before. Our world designed for the right-handed.
Yes.
That's why when they drive their car, when they want to reach something,
they're doing it with their left.
Yeah, it affects their posture.
Yeah.
Right.
It affects their safety also.
Yeah.
That's why we have to be more aware about the difference and the safety precautions.
Right. And, by the way, I'm thinking now, if you're a police officer, from what I know, you have a gun holster that's on your right side. And if it's a life or death situation and you're accidentally reaching with your left instead of your right, there you go. There's an example.
So they have to make both sides.
Exactly,
right?
like a cowboy. Anyway, thanks, Widya, for joining us this morning. And happy
welcome.
International Left-Handers Day. It's been great to learn more about this particular unique trait.
All right, thank you so much, Widya. And now, guys, we're moving on to our first break, or multiple breaks, our next break. But stay tuned, because after this, I think we'll have our signature Yuk Masak segment with Chef Arshan and Archie. We'll be right back.